everybody. Welcome all my friends and family, fellow patriots, even you trolls, haters, and stalkers. If you guys hang around for a minute, you just might learn something. So yes, Bruce Poppy is here. It is Friday, the 24th of November, 2023. I'm flying solo tonight for our Unraveling the News program. We are live on my Rumble channel, Unpopular Viewpoint, Robert's Rumble channel, Renegade Media, and Lewis's Screw Big Gov. So welcome, everybody. Because of the multiple channels involved, I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on the chats. So the only one I have open is the one that's on my channel. So I can keep in there. I know I see Buckshot. He's everywhere. But anybody, comment. Tell us what you think, what you like. There's going to be a chance for you tonight, and in one of the stories I'm going to share for you to participate. We need some keyboard warrior action, a call to action here tonight in one of the stories that we're going to share. So what we do here on the Friday night show, Friday with Robert and myself, is it's called Unraveling the News. Share some news stuff, recap, go through some things, and maybe dig a little bit deeper, give you some insight. Some ways to look at the news in maybe a different way so that you can see the narrative that's falling apart, number one. Number two, so you can kind of decode some of these things, because we know they use these words. They try to drive a narrative home. They just keep pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding, lie after lie after lie after lie over and over and over again until people believe it's true. So we're going to show you a couple of things what's going on. There's no lack of stuff. Good God bless America. I could probably spend hours and hours just going through just the stuff that I was trying to narrow down today to bring it into a reasonably timely format. But flying solo, we're just going to roll with it. It is Black Friday, and I'm hoping that you guys didn't get beat up or trampled. We don't participate in that game anymore. I try to stay away from the consumerism. The whole Black Friday thing. You run out there and you buy stuff that you really don't need to, and you can't afford to impress people that you don't even like. Got to keep up with the Joneses. That's the whole matrix society situation. This consumerism that we're stuck in currently right now until we can clean this thing up. So let's just jump right in. Today being Black Friday, I want to lead off.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this.
And there's Don. My phone has been going crazy. I'll share a little bit about one of the things I'm going to start digging into. It's getting active, local in your active community. We've been preaching that for a very long time on the Truth Tour and Freedom in Action. Lewis says the micro will fix the macro. General Flynn, local action has national impact. So I came across a Substack from a guy in my county, Pinellas County, Florida, kind of exposing and showing some of the elect Marcus here in Pinellas County and trying to get this information. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I had a friend of mine who is very close with a lot of this stuff and knows all the players. I reached out to her today, asked her about this Substack, and she's just loaded me up with all the emails and information and spreadsheets. And God bless America, I have probably 15 emails from her and an hour-long video that she sent me. So I'm going to start digging in and finding out what's going on, interviewing people, talking, putting together something to show everybody. And this is something we all can do. We all can be active in our local community. But being Black Friday, I want to lead off with the sale that's going on right now. If you guys don't know about it, it's blowing it's going crazy. We've talked about almost on every show, many people, the whole Neumi product, the NutraSwish, and the Neumi skin. Well, I got my green screen going on, so this stuff is going to disappear. But yeah, they got a sale going on right now. It started at midnight. And it goes until midnight on Monday, but you buy one bottle, you get another bottle for free, up to 5. So you can buy 5 of the Neumi skin and you get 5 of the Neumi swish, or you can buy 5 Neumi swish and get 5 more Neumi swish. That's the, you can, or it's just 1. You don't have to buy 5. But I wanted to share with you the link and the website. The link, let me get the right one. Be scrolling on the bottom there. But when you go to the website, go to that link. This is what you see. Shop all. There's tons of information on the site, all about what glutathione is, the ingredients. There's a short 2-minute video that talks about their hydrostat nanotechnology, and it's a new way of delivery of different things. And that's just how science and things evolve. Real science, not Fauci science. But there's 165,000 different studies on PubMed concerning glutathione. Go to PubMed, check it out for yourself. Don't believe me. More than 33 million citations for biomedical literature in Medline, life science journals, online books for this glutathione, the master antioxidant. You can get, sign up for this. You just order stuff. You can set up on a monthly basis subscription. And you can cancel, you can change it, you can twist it, you can alter it anytime you want. You can cancel. There's no risk. Money back guarantee, 30 days for free. The Neumi skin, we talked about that. Here's some pictures of before and afters of people who've used it. And if you know that guy from Tales from the Crypt, yeah, that's what I used to look like before I started using it. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad. But I have noticed a difference, man. I'm people tell me all the time that don't even know me, haven't seen me in a while. I was like, man, dude, you look young. So yeah, this has to do with Neumi and me living right, living in my purpose and passion. So that's what Neumi is about. So you want to check out the sale, Blue Friday they call it. Buy one, give one. You can buy them for yourself. You can give one away. You can keep both of them. But it starts at midnight last night, so it's going on now. It's active, on sale now, through midnight on Monday. So all this whole weekend, you can go to the link, brucepoppy.neumi.com, that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, and you can get yourself some Neumi. Try it out. Just check it out. There's no risk, no harm. You can't overdose on it. It doesn't. There's zero negative side effects, and all plus benefits for this type of product. So we don't schlep a bunch of stuff here. We only use stuff that is beneficial for us, that I've used and tried out, that I like and promote. And if we get a little cha-ching, helps out the show, helps out the keep funding the freedom fighting machine that we're doing here at Unpopular Viewpoint and others. So there's the commercial for today. Get you some Neumi. You'll be glad you did. So the first story to kind of talk about is a couple days ago when they were going over what's happening. They talked about it on the Lewis and Robert SPG News, that car that came launching through the air and blew up. You can't do that. You're bound, and we own you, so you can't do that. The event was allegedly supposed to be November 17th.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah, thanks, Don. Dakota Patriot Rally in Fairgrounds in Minot in the Dakotas. So yeah, they're barred. Turning Point Action, is kind of a college kid started and promotes conservative values, family, all that different type of stuff, stuff that the left hates. So they're, if you're in the Air Force, sorry, can't go. United States government says, nope, can't do it. Can't do it. So there you go. Air Force hates us. And then this guy, everybody's talking, heard about the Argentinian guy, President-elect Javier Milei, confirms he's going to shut down the central bank there in Argentina. He says it's non-negotiable. He's very smart. He's the guy who's taking a chainsaw, rather than surgically help out and remove things and to balance the budget. He says, "No, fuck that. I'm going to take a chainsaw and I'm going to cut this whole thing up. We're gonna turn this thing around." So he just confirmed on X, I think it was, to close the Argentine central bank. It's non-negotiable. Here's his press release. If you can read Spanish, that's fantastic. I can't. I wonder if there's a translation. Here's the English translation. Here goes. Buenos Aires on the 24th. That was today. The office of President-elect of the Argentine Republic communicates that only official information about the future government by Javier Milei is one published by this medium. So don't be buying any, fake news is what they're telling you. In this regard, the economist Osvaldo Giordano will be the head of the ANSES and engineer in charge starting December 10th. Regarding the agenda of the president-elect this afternoon, he will maintain phone communication with the president of South Korea. On the other hand, in the face of false rumors spread, we wish to clarify that the closure of the Central Bank of the Argentine Republic is not a negotiable issue. So they're going to be doing it. So, I mean, when you're taking that harder stance, a lot of people in the conservative movement, a lot of anons had, labeled this guy, World Economic Forum, deep state plant, blah, 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 just based on his not even officially in office yet. And he's already, going to get the central bank, man. That's the root of evil in most countries is the central bank. And we remember what happened to Gaddafi when he wanted to get away from the central bank and the International Monetary Fund and those type of people and, have their own thing. And that didn't end well for Gaddafi. He was part of the Clinton hit list. Miss Bobby just brought me some coffee, so I'm sipping on some coffee. It is a little chilly-ish here in Florida. It's like around 60 degrees. But this is going to be anything but this is a guy to keep an eye on. Hopefully his security is good. And even DJT 45 says he's going to go down to Argentina and visit this guy. They're going to have a little powwow. So 45 is going down there. And you can tell, when the mainstream media, this is some of the stuff that I was talking about, looking for the keywords, kind of the deeper, when you look into this, you'll see, alt-right, different alt-right, like the, this, here, talk about, Trump's word, alt-right, far-right, they're labeling, different things to make us seem, crazy to kind of associate because over time they have seeded the consciousness of humanity to associate, alt-right, far-right with, the skinheads, white supremacists, we're labeled Nazis. So they don't go that far in using those kind of harshish terms that are really inflammatory based on some false history. But they're trying to, paint this picture that we're a bunch of crazies, that they're the same ones, right? That they're got, everybody's best interest at heart, and we're just trying to burn the whole thing down. So that's some of the stuff to look for in these articles, and even a lot of the alternative media, the kind of the not mainstream or sub-mainstream type stuff. You'll notice they use those words as well. I mean, if you're just scanning through, even Gateway Pundit, I mentioned a little bit of clickbaity occasionally. They got good topic and information. That's why you got to kind of dig in to the story and find out what the real truth is. But even in some of the headlines, just scanning through,
Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
you can see the different keywords they're using to be able to paint our movement, people who just want to be free and want to be left the F alone.
And I approve this message.
Don's approving. I might have to mute him. He's been going crazy this afternoon. Like I said, I got all kinds of emails and text messages, all kinds of craziness coming through my phone today. So I might not have to turn him off because Don's going to be interrupting the show all night long. But yeah, Gateway Pundit. I mean, just even them, like I said, just scanning through the headlines, what makes it interesting. So yeah, look for some of those keywords. Alt-right.
Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
All right, Don. You're distracting me now. Thank you very much. So yeah, look for that stuff. That's when you kind of look for when you share this stuff. You can talk to people about that. Mention those keywords. You know, the little trigger words, alt-right, hard right, even the new guy that just got elected over there in Norway, right? He's Norway. He's a Trump. You know, Norway's Trump. You know, the populist. You know, they're trying to the populist. The people. We're people. That's where they. You know, that whole populist thing is the people. That's what our government is supposed to be. We the people. We're the ones supposed to control the show, but no, the populace are trying to beat us over the head and beat us down, because the ruling elites, the Luciferian asshats, as I call them, don't want the populist people to rise up, and they are all over the place. I mean, the protests in Spain recently, the new election that's happened in Norway, Argentina. So it's these people they're professionals at mind control. They're professionals at obfuscation. They're professionals at brainwashing. So, you got to be very careful. Gird your mind. You have to be connected. I could talk about the 3 connections: God, yourself, and other people. That's how we get through this. Whew. So another thing, this is another story that you wonder. I'm going to show you the headline, and I'm going to tell you what I think is really kind of maybe going on behind the scenes here. But here's this. Yeah, we're going to talk about Ireland, Carol. I got a big thing about Ireland for sure. See this story here from Gateway Pundit. Asian brothels that serviced military officials and politicians kept impeccable records as feds prepared to identify the Johns. Now, where have we heard before about, people on some type of list that, were involved in some pretty nefarious type stuff involving children in an island somewhere? There was a whole list of people that was supposed to be released and never has to this point. Wonder if it's the same thing. But yeah, the Justice Department earlier this month just announced that there's arrests in a high-end brothel network used by elected officials, military officers, government contractors that possess security clearances, lawyers, doctors, and more. According to the Justice Department, these ringleaders operated 2 websites, and they advertised Asian models for photography. Come get your picture taken with a nice Asian girl as a front. They arrested 3 different people in 2 different locations, Austin and Eastern Virginia. It's John. It's somebody looking to pay money to get it on. Allegedly included, and here they go again with this list: elected officials, high-tech and pharmaceutical executives, doctors, military officers, and there we go again. They bring this out: government contractors that possess security clearances, professors, attorneys, scientists, and accountants, among others. So, they made these arrests of these 3 people, Asian names: Han Lee, James Lee, Jimyong Lee, all the Lee family. But yeah, here's a screenshot of the menu of services that you could take. But these brothel owners kept impeccable records, according to an affidavit released by the Wednesday by the feds, who were prepared to go public with the list of Johns. I wonder how many politicians are shaking in their boots, right? Because we know that's one of the ways that they use to corrupt, blackmail, and own the politicians. They've been doing that for very long, honeypotting, right? They go and these people, they say they got the records. They kept impeccable records, and then these contractors that have security clearances. They keep saying that because they can be blackmailed. So is this my question? Is this a front by the Department of Justice, the 3-letter agencies, including FBI and the clowns, to let people know, hey, if you did this, we got you here. So if this list ever becomes public, which I don't know if it will or not, we've heard about the Epstein list that's supposed to come out. That's never going to probably happen because there's too many high-powered, influential people named on that list. And Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting in the prison, and Epstein is somewhere in an undisclosed location giving all the singing like a bird. And so they have all the information. They're just, when is it going to happen? When is it going to come out? I don't know. That's the $65,000 question or $64,000 question. Yeah, so are they letting these people know, hey, we got this. If you're a part of this, if you visited these places, now we own you. So we'll see how this all plays out. But this, we know Playboy Mansion was the same way, that they the clowns, government officials, actors, musicians, all this stuff. The Playboy Mansion was used to honeypot. They got videotape, whatever, doing bad things. Not necessarily bad things, but if you're married and you're doing it with somebody else, that's a bad thing. But yeah, people don't want this stuff to come out. So that's how a lot of our these controlled politicians, they're blackmailed, contractors. I mean, there's all kinds of people listed on this thing, and they mentioned those military contractors with security clearances more than once, and they had spell that all out. So that's just kind of a trigger in my mind. This is interesting. So this was just happening now. The Department of Justice, who knows what ends up happening? It could be part of a Chinese espionage plot. Who knows? The high-tech government contractors, visiting this place, prostitution rings out of Fairfax and Virginia, or in Massachusetts, and Tyson's, Virginia. Fairfax and Tyson's, Virginia. I'm sorry. So, is it a Chinese thing? Is it our three-letter agencies letting people know, hey, we got you by the short and curlies, literally. So, was Ung and C Lee there too? I don't, Quasi Pete, I don't speak Asian, man. So, yeah, the Ireland thing, that's another thing that they're utilizing. It's just like the BLM riots in the summer of love of 2020. But they're painting, they are projecting, they're labeling, the protesters that are finally fed up. So if you're not familiar with, there's a bunch of riots that erupted across Ireland, across Dublin, after an immigrant is accused of mass stabbing. So anyway, yeah, so this immigrant, and this is indicative, they're for a while now, long time, it's been the test case. What's going on right now on our southern border? What's going on right now on our southern border? The flood of migrants seeking asylum, wanting a better place. With the invasion that's happening on our southern border. That's new here now. The last couple 3 years. I mean, it's been over and over and over. Millions and millions of people coming in over the border. We don't know who they are, from all kinds of countries all over the planet. Well, over there in the EU has been kind of a test case, right? They're wanting to eliminate the borders, all the Syrian refugees, all these other refugees, it's come on into Europe. They're flooding different, France, England. Many people, Tommy Robinson has, talked about that stuff over there, what's happening with the Muslims in England, what they're doing to children, their lack of intent to assimilate into the culture of the country that they're coming to. They're coming in, they're wanting to establish their own, bring their culture into the culture of, Britain or Ireland. This specifically, in this case, we're talking about Ireland, but they've been, over and over and over again. This has been ongoing, just boats and boats and boats coming across the channel into England and Ireland and Scotland. I'm sure Linda Millichamp can probably tell some stories about, what's going on in Scotland. She says here in the chat, Irish going to be having a revolution with the illegals there in Dublin. So, this is what's the problem with this mass migration, this lack of sovereignty of countries. This is the plan for the World Economic Forum, the ruling elites, the Luciferian asshats who've had their boot on the neck of humanity since almost the dawn of time, to eliminate borders, make everything, we're supposed to do all that and everything's going to be fine. And puppy dogs and rainbows. We're singing Kumbaya, hand in hand with all these people from different religions that hate you. They have zero intention of any type of assimilation into the normal culture. So that's what's been going on over there in Europe and, England and Ireland. And the people are fucking fed up. They're done with it. This is all, coming to a head. And it's a pot of keg. It's a pot of keg over there. And it's about to pop off. And it is popping off all over the place. You can see it. The protests for this massive migration, they're calling it. It's massive illegal immigrants just coming in to destroy the system. It's the Cloward Piven strategy on a global scale. And so what's going on? So that's what happened. A migrant went on a knife attack about their country being overtaken by foreigners. And so he confronted this guy. That's epic. So Conor McGregor, the main Irish dude, the MMA fighter, he's commenting on this video. He said, "Isn't that something? The absolute picture of weak and feeble." I'm going to actually jump over to his Twitter. "Isn't that something?" Let me share this. I'm sorry. Conor McGregor, "Isn't that something? The absolute picture of weak and feeble. The most divisive of all is the weak man. One of the most horrific crimes this nation ever seen has occurred. We do not care anymore of what you sad cases have got to say. In a war, you are nothing. We are not backing down. We're only warming up. There will be no backing down until real change is implemented for the safety of our nation. We're not losing any more of our women in mosques and the government, police, the judges, all whatever they call them over there in England. They're all forking involved in this shit. They're all complicit. This is happening all over the place. And so what makes it even worse is, big tech and these and the regulators, they're wanting social media to crack down. This gentleman, John Kilcommons, a regulator, contacted social media firms after the stabbing. And here's the link. You click on the link, it opens up to this page. So the regulator concerned over spread of disinformation on social media. Ireland's media regulator, Commission Neumi, probably butchered the shit out of that. Commission Neumi said it remains concerned about the spread of violent imagery, hate speech, and disinformation on social media platforms following last night's unrest in Dublin. There has been much focus on the role played by social media in the riots, with anti-immigrant rhetoric and misinformation being spread on some platforms. Commission Neumi has held media platforms together with the European Commission to get more information on how they have responded to the incidents that unfold online and offline. They're wanting to spin this and prevent the people from rising up, gathering and organizing. They're calling it misinformation, hate speech. The regulator said it alerted platforms to the stabbing incident in Dublin yesterday and was told by them that they activated their incident response mechanisms. A feature of the rioting last night was the use of messaging and online platforms to spread hatred, to incite violence and crime, as well as to spread disinformation. Commission Neumi said in a statement, adding that it is calling on all platforms based in Ireland to limit the spread of such content, to take steps not to amplify it. We also encourage them to work with An Garda Síochána, identifying persons using their platforms to spread hatred and incite crime. We remain concerned about the spread of videos or imagery showing graphic violence, each inciting hatred or violence, and the spread of disinformation and misinformation, the regulator said. We plan to meet with these platforms again in the coming days to receive further updates on how the platforms are responding to these events. Commission Neumi also said that yesterday's violent incidents highlight the risks of disinformation and misinformation to a modern democracy. This is insane. They're trying to control the narrative on this, and they're not wanting us people to rise up, and they're labeling us These people are associated with anti-immigration protests and far-right ideologies. So there's some more of those trigger words. We're anti-immigration. No, I'm pro-immigration, pro-legal immigration, pro merit-based immigration. And you're going to come here, you're going to assimilate into our culture. You're not going to come here and we're going to want to implement Sharia fucking law here in the United States. You can go fuck right off with that stuff. Sorry, I get a little worked up. And really, it's playing out. This is what this person, and really the way it is played out is quite predictable because tensions were so high. Yeah, because the government isn't doing its job and securing the borders of a sovereign nation, allowing anybody and their brother without any vetting, without any reason, without any security, looking back, into their background to see if they're associated with who God knows who. So video sharing platform TikTok said its trust and safety team has been closely monitoring the situation since yesterday afternoon, has been proactively removing any content that violates its community guidelines. Good grief. YouTube said in the moments like this, its systems prioritize connecting viewers with high quality news and information from authoritative sources, right? So this is the freaking game. See, listen, this is the words. These are the key words to look for and how they're trying to control our speech, right? There's laws that's been implemented over in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, even in the European Union about high quality news and information from authoritative sources. That's state-run media. That's, freaking total propaganda. They're wanting to squash free speech and not let people like myself and anybody else who has a different viewpoint, unpopular as it might be. I still have the right and the responsibility as a citizen here in the United States to hold my government accountable because those MFers work for me. That's why it's so important to go to rememberyouroath.com, rememberyouroath.com, and get on the bandwagon so we can hold these people accountable to their oath to the Constitution, right? We don't need authoritative sources. We need truth, good, bad, or indifferent. I say that all the time. I'm just a guy that just wants truth. Just don't blow smoke up my butt. That's what they've been doing our entire lives. I'm just scanning in the chat. Yeah, because Linda Millichamp, she's over there in Scotland, not far. Social workers too, yeah. Irish Garda, the police, are brutal. They were in the COVID lockdown. I mean, they were locking people down hard over there. It was crazy. So this is what's going on. Here's the thing. The EU, like I talked about the laws, excuse me, under the EU's new set of online safety rules, they got the Digital Services Act. Platforms are obligated to assess and mitigate a series of risks from the use of their services, including negative effects for public security. I've shared before, there was a short video that and we go from, having freedom to have an illusion of freedom. When they start talking about safety and security, that's when they get screwed you. That's when they take away your freedoms because it's not safe, to go onto YouTube and watch videos like myself because the 7 channels now gone off of YouTube. Many people have gotten more channels than that taken away from, but still, safety, security, national security. That's why everything's kept, secret, and we can't have transparency because it's national security. They're obligated to notify law enforcement authorities if they become aware of information about actual potential criminal offense involving public safety. I'm not for, inciting violence and, causing people, but we need to, there comes a point, there is a line when the people, the human spirit can't be pushed back anymore. And we're going to fight back. And that's what the Irish people are doing right now. They're fed up with the government. I mean, I'm not in favor of looting businesses because the businesses probably had zero input or impact on these migration type of things. But, there comes a point, it's a powder keg, man. There's a boiling point that you just get to that point and just boom, this stuff happens. So, that's what's going on. This Irish thing, they're painting it, like I said, the BLM, just the contrast. Let's look at the contrast. BLM Antifa stuff, the summer of love in 2020, when they burnt down Minneapolis and took over Seattle, and they had that their autonomous zone or whatever, and Washington D.C. All this stuff, billions and billions of dollars of damage. That was the summer of love. That was mostly peaceful protesters. They painted that they're just lashing out because they're oppressed. The black people are oppressed. They're just lashing out, and we need to give them reparations for. This is all, it's bullshit. But yet, then they paint the whole January 6th thing, that narrative coming up, just as a contrast. Look at the contrast and look at the way that they paint the narrative, right? That's what, refill. Mrs. Poppy is the best. I have the best wife ever, and I'll fight anybody who wants to say anything any different. But yeah, I mean, this is how they're painting stuff. You got to look at the narrative. Why are they doing certain things? Look at the words as we unravel the news here. Look at the words. I mean, look at the way that they have done Trump. Just, the whole, from the impeachments, to the Russia thing, impeachments, and then, the 2020 situation. Anybody with half a brain and one fucking eye can see that was stolen and corrupt. But then, after that, now they're going the indictments. Every time they indict him, 400 plus years in prison he's looking at. Every indictment he gets stronger, it's more popular, more people want to vote for him. Everything that they're doing is boomeranging right back on themselves, right? So they know that these indictments likely aren't going to go anywhere. That's what the puppet masters are pulling here in the United States, right? The mainstream media, the puppet masters, that's what they're pushing. This new narrative now. If you notice how the switch, look back at the history, look how it's gone along, and you can see it. I talk about that picture, the picture that we've seen as they were. I don't know if they're out much anymore, but all the different colors that you can't see. It just looks like a hodgepodge of colors. But if you squint your eyes, you can see there's an elephant there. There's a picture within the picture, right? Once you see it, then you see it, right? If you know, then you know. And that's why some people, when we try to tell them, share the information, that just can't get through. They can't see the picture. They can't see the elephant in the room, the 500-pound gorilla, in that picture, in the picture. So, I mean, let's look at the narrative, how they've done Trump. The indictments aren't going to work. So now they're painting, well, if Trump gets back in, he's going to, weaponize the government, and he's going to put all his enemies in jail. He's going to, do all this stuff. That's the narrative now that they're going forward with these low information voters that don't have a clue about what's going on. They're just still watching CNN, MSNBC, Fox fucking News, all these other people. So pay attention now going forward that I've laid out, how they do this. Listen to the words that they're saying. I've seen videos that I didn't have them pulled up here. Just one popped into my head. The Joe Scarborough in the morning. He goes on and on. Trump's is going to do this. He's going to be a dictator. He's Nazi. If he gets back in the White House, he's going to throw everybody in jail. Yeah, no shit. Because you deserve to be in jail, you bunch of criminals. They're projecting their stuff, right? So that's the narrative they're trying to seed into the consciousness of humanity. So just keep, as things go forward, watch. Because we know, they're continuing to attack and attack and attack. I don't know the background. I just came across this headline just before I came on air. So I haven't dug into it, but it was just a newer story that was on towards the top of Citizens Free Press. But Jason Miller now, this just came out. Jason Miller, one of Donald Trump's longest serving political aides, is once again in the broiler. He's the CEO guy of True Social. Jason Miller, he's been going through a long divorce battle. He had a extramarital affair, and the way that this article, this DNY, you even know where that come from, long salacious saga of his extramarital affair with former Trump. See, former Trump. That's, a Trump appointed judge. Look at all how they do this stuff, folks. AJ Delgado took a certain turn on Wednesday when she sued her ex-boss in an explosive lawsuit. There are 4 independent variables: calendar time, dose, age, and time since a given dose. And one dependent variable is the mortality rate. You can tell the story in just 4 plots. So he has all this data. This is amazing. He's going to reveal all this stuff. November 30th, he's doing a talk at MIT, Steve Kirsch, which will be live streamed. So before he went public with this data that he's going to now on MIT, he offered both the CDC and the FDA the opportunity to view the data and the analysis, as well, the opportunity to fully authenticate the data that was legit, and they refused to talk to him. You can't make this stuff up. So here's the take action part that you can participate in, right? All the keyboard warriors out there. So since Mr. Ben right here, this guy, Ben Haynes, this is the media director of media relations at the CDC, Ben Haynes. Since he don't want to see that, he can't email the Ben. This is what Mr. Kirsch said. I can't email Ben because the CDC and the FDA block all my emails. But guess what? You can send it. You can email. You can email Ben right here. Here's his address, email address. Write this down. media@cdc.gov. Super easy. media@cdc.gov. Let them know what you think of their refusal to review the record label data. I mean, can you imagine if how many people are going to watch this and you share it out? I'll maybe make a post in the Telegram that you can share out, to different people. If we can get I don't know how many, pick a number out of 20,000, 30,000 people might see this show over the next week or two. I don't know. If everybody sent the email, and then everybody else send it, you guys send it to one other person. We get 50, 100,000 people to email Ben. Say, hey, Ben, email him at media@cdc.gov. I can just see his face. He goes in the office in the morning. He's got his coffee, fires up, logs in, pulls up, and he got ding, 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 ding. He's got 20, 30, 40, 50,000 emails from concerned citizens who are saying, hey, how come you guys refuse to look at the record level data? Record level data right here. This is the information. Record level data. So I suggest, if you're on Substack, I highly recommend Steve Kirsch's Substack is fire. And he's going to be at MIT. He put on another challenge on his thing, on his recent one of his recent Substacks. Yeah, and he's offered an MIT 10 million. I'm going to challenge billionaire MIT Institute professor Robert Langer, the co-founder of Moderna. So he's going to get this. He offered him, say, hey, come and debate me at MIT on November 30th. He's going to be there giving a speech. He says, if I lose, I'll donate 1 million to MIT. If he loses, he'll donate 1 million to VSRF. So he's offering. Why is it 1 million on that tweet, but 10 million here? I just offered MIT Institute professor Robert Langer. They're supposed to be signing some treaty or something March of next year, March 2024. That's all coming to a head. So that's still in the works, on the books, a potential scenario. But I don't know. There's lots of people are saying lots of different things. March. I keep hearing March. I hate fucking dates. March, this, March. It's going to end in March. We're going to see this. Things are going to break open. It's a March. When it happens, it happens. When the universe is ready to make it happen, it'll happen. Yes, I will. Turber, thank you for the reminder. Truthtrench.org. There's a little more than a week left. Truthtrench.org. You can go to that website. I talked about this before. This is a great website. They have all kinds of information about different government stuff. But if you go to truthtrench.org, it's been in my Telegram. We shared it talked about on the show before. Talked about on Lewis's show last week. I think it was last Thursday. Where was it? Yeah, it was Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember. But anyway, defend the children. What this is, to give you the kind of, bring you up to speed, the Reader's Digest version really fast, is there's like 5 different whistleblowers from different areas of the Department of Homeland Security. And what they're doing is this is a public comment period for a new rule. They're going to changing the Unaccompanied Children Program foundational rule. It's the public commenting period. So these whistleblowers came out here and there's like, hey, what they're trying to do with this comment, this rule change, is essentially going to codify. It's going to make transparency almost impossible, and make more easy. Make it easier, more easy. I know the grammar police are going to get me. Make it easier for the cartels, the United States government, all on the fly here, folks. We're on the fly. Things are moving so fast. So this channel, Brainstorm 17. There's they did an interview with these 5 whistleblowers. I'll find it. Here we go. It's on the second page. These guys put out a lot of content. 1 month ago. Here it is. I'll copy the link for this and put it into the chat. And you guys can watch it and send it everywhere. That's in my chat. If somebody's watching, you can grab it from my chat and put it over into Robert and Lewis's chat. I'll make sure it gets on the Telegram. But here's the interview with these whistleblowers talking about this, what's happening at this Truth Trench and the reason for this countdown. And so we got till December 4th is when the public comment period ends. So what these whistleblowers have done, they have knowledge, information of classified and unclassified stuff. They've gone through these regulations and what this rule change is and all the verbiage and wording. And so what they have done, it's super simple to do. It's just a copy and paste and send an email. They have like 94 plus different comments that you can copy and paste. So all you got to do is in this bracket here on the comment right here, this one says does not have the following words listed in document, transitional watch list. It goes, say they know, they figured all this stuff out. They've done the work for you. You don't have to know the document, but you just copy all this stuff. You click on the link here, the regulations.gov. I don't think I copied. I just highlighted. So we'll just do it right here. Real super simple. Takes seconds. If you can do it right here, we'll do a comment 2. So here's the comment 2. There you go. Copy it. Click on the link. Takes you to the regulation.gov, the comment area site. Here's your comment area. Start typing. Paste. There's the comment in there. You can attach files that you want. Email address. I don't think you have to put an email because it's not a highlighted field. You tell us about your note. I want to anonymous. I want to make this anonymous. You got to tell them you're not a robot. See all the motorcycles. There's 1, 2. There's the motorcycle. Maybe that. There's the tail light. Nope. Stairs. These things are stupid. There you go. I'm not a robot. Submit comment. Boom, there you go. Submitted successfully. So you can do that to all these things. Truthtrench.org. Defend the children. So we can do this. Anybody, all the keyboard warriors out there, man, you don't have to get off your couch. We got 10 days, 4 hours, 38 minutes, 50 seconds, 49 seconds to get all these comments in by February or December 4th. So there you go. Truthtrench.org. Turber. All right, so that's that. I'm just anti them pushing it on children in elementary school, right? So I'm pro-choice. I'm on everything. Make a choice. I don't wear a seatbelt. Maybe not the wisest thing in the world to do, but hey, I'm not endangering anybody's life but myself, right? I joke around with the cops. They pulled me over because now in Florida here, you can get pulled over. If they drive by and see you, they and their eyeballs, they see, oh, he's not wearing a seatbelt. Spin around, light me up, pull me over. Hey, you're not wearing your seatbelt. I don't want to. So as they start giving me a rash of shit, I was like, well, hey, this is what I tell every single one. I said, hey, they changed the law here in Florida. I used to have to wear a helmet when I ride my motorcycle, but they changed the law. So now I don't have to wear a helmet when I ride my motorcycle, but I got to be tied down to my 5,000-pound car. So I'm pro-choice. I'm sure there's many stories, just as many stories as the propaganda that comes out, that seatbelt saves lives, right? If I make a bad decision, that's my choice. That's all we want is freedom, right? I'm not telling anybody how to live their life. We're not trying to tell everybody be groupthink. You got to do it my way or the highway. No, we just want the ability to be able to do what we want to do. And then not be ostracized if we are divergent. We have a different opinion. We have a viewpoint that's unpopular. That's all we want. That's what we're after, folks, is freedom. So a couple of funny things here to kind of wrap it up a little bit. I thought this was quite funny. The climate cult. The climate cult, right? The climate change is an existential threat. Since the 70s, we've had 10 years to live. The ice is melting. We're going to be overrun. There's going to be beachfront property in Kansas because the levels are going to rise up. We just had Thanksgiving yesterday. Plymouth Rock out there, right? The water line, I'm guessing, the Plymouth Rock isn't under water yet, right? What was it, 1620 when the Pilgrims landed? That rock is still above water, right? So, yeah. And the only way for us to save the planet is we got to pay more taxes. And don't even get me on that subject. I came across a quick video on TikTok. You talk about, hey, if the government, this logical, critical thinking, the government can print money at will, right? That's what they're doing. That's why, allegedly $1 trillion, and they just keep printing money. Why don't they just print enough money and if you don't have money, give people money? Why do we have to pay taxes if they can print money at will to do whatever they want to do? Why do we got to pay taxes? So it's all the money. It's counterfeiting, money cartel, fucking shell game. It's all about getting money back in their pockets. So that's that. I'm sorry I got off on that tangent. But anyway, the climate cult. So the Sahara Desert right there, over there in Africa. The Sahara Desert is shrinking. As plants grow, land becomes more green thanks to rising CO2. So they're wanting to reduce CO2 in the atmosphere, but it's CO2 is what feeds the plants, and the plants, they eat the CO2 and they give off oxygen. So we want to take the CO2 out of the air. He probably should come out with a statement or video. I'm not suicidal. The brakes on my car have just been serviced. So he probably, the same thing with that new president of Argentina. If he's going to get rid of the central bank, yeah, he might want to make sure I'm not suicidal. I don't have any mental issues. The brakes on my car have just been serviced, so they're good. But Stephen Kropelin who specializes in the study of Eastern Sahara Desert and its climatic history, has been active in the field for over more than 40 years. He has said in a recent interview that deserts like the Sahara are actually shrinking. Go figure. Meaning they are becoming greener with plants and vegetation. Going back as far as the late 1980s, rains have been spreading across northern Sudan and elsewhere in northern Africa. This has the effect of greening the region and making the harsh Sahara Desert smaller than it once was. The climate is always gradually changing. Hello. It's a cyclical thing. Mother Gaia is a living, breathing, sentient being. It's pretty prideful of ourselves, pretty vain of ourselves to think the Industrial Revolution that really only started, in the late 1800s, mid 1800s, so about 150 plus-ish or so years, less than 200 years, for sure, that us as human beings and during the Industrial Revolution can create She's not part of that cult. Very good. Let's see what's else going on in the chat. I'm on my second round of 94 comments. It's easy, people. There you go. Thanks for sharing that, Turber, in the chat. So yeah, there's tons of information out there. No lack of it. There's lots of fake, phony, and false bullshit. We'll see. Putting dates out there. A lot of people talking in March something's going to happen. Juan was on with John Michael Chamberlain from AMP, American Media Periscope. Saying that before Trump is what he said, his exact words, and I should probably play it. Anybody want to feel like hearing a little bit of Juan? But I had some fun with it. Rapide. Let's see here. I'll find it real quick. Juan was on with John Michael Chamberlain. Flip up. There we go. Maybe it's on this. No. Let me see. I know where I found it. It was been Carrie Cassidy, Project Camelot Portal, and we'll end with this. I'm gonna end with this right now. I know people are. I think this is important, and it's going to be kind of funny. While you're waiting on me, go to brucepoppy.neumi.com and get you some free stuff. $50 to buy number. If you buy it as a member, if you set up on the auto ship program, the subscription basis, so you don't forget of it's $50 a bottle. Usually buy one, get one free. You save $50. And you can change your subscription. Like I got my subscription set up. Some months I get one of each, the skin and the swish. Sometimes I get two swishes. Now that they have the Herms product, sometimes I get a swish and a Herms. Try to keep the rotation, everything, whatever I'm short of. I get that. I can change my subscription anytime. You can cancel anytime. There's no obligation. It doesn't, and you're going to benefit. There's money back guarantee, and the stuff is amazing. But anyway, Carrie Cassidy on Project Camelot Porter, she's changed her tune. She's had this love-hate relationship with Juan. That she, John, yeah. But she was, let's see, where was it? She was on with Underground Patriot. And yeah, here it is. Copy. Apologize. Talk amongst yourselves. Huh, really? That's funny. Says there's no video. They took it down off of Rumble? Come on. Let me see what happens if I click the link. There it is. All right. Thank you for the correction there, CNS 1000. John Michael Chambers interviewed Juan. I'm going to jump ahead here. It's a short, 30 minutes, but around near the 20-minute mark. But I had some fun.
And they said the $20 problem if you're looking at that problem. As the dollar goes down.
Okay. So what I did today is I put it on double speed, because you know how Juan kind of drags on and he talks kind of slow. So it was pretty cool at double speed. So let's check out Juan on double speed.
Coming. We have the dollarization.